Guess who's back? Back again. Guess who's back? It's your friend. Bart is back. Bart is back. Bart is back. Bart is back. Wednesday, April 30th, 4:53 p.m. here on the Swatch Watch. A lot of action going on around the compound here, around the Castle of Love. Over time, I was building a castle of love just for two. Though you never knew you were my reason. Little Stevie Wonder there. Kicked off with Eminem, went into the Stevie Wonder. Sounds about right. Family says I have musical Tourette's, and that's fine. So Coco came back to town, and now her and Lady Travels a Lot are out in Boston. Hey, Kapak, Smart what's it called? Give me a dollar for the clam chowder. They're in Boston, and the reason why is sad to me because kid two, Maya Coco, she's got a job interview. She graduates next month from Boiler Up from Purdue. And for some reason, has always wanted to live on the East Coast. And I'm fine with the East Coast if it was like Florida, if it was like South Carolina, if it was like North Carolina. It's warmer down there. But she likes Maine, Connecticut, Vermont, Massachusetts. So they're in Boston. She's got a job interview. I'm sure they're going to offer her the job, just like they did at the school she was student teaching at. Last day of her student teaching, she must have gotten 50 little notes from her students. And I got to tell you, between you and I was a little teared up reading some of them. She's a special kind of gal. And then the principal called her down to the office, and guess what she did? She offered her a job on the spot, which doesn't surprise me. And I'd rather her live there, cheaper rent, closer to home, right by Indianapolis, lots of fun. But I'm not going to squash her dreams. I want her to move on. Fly, fly, little butterfly, fly. And you can't be soaring with the eagles if you're scratching around with the turkeys. So I get it. May have thrown a little curveball at her yesterday. It's probably unfair, but I said, hey, maybe you can. I know you don't want to live at home anymore, even though you should live at home a couple years, bank all your dollar bills. But maybe if you decide to, stay around the area, teach here for a couple of years, maybe I'll buy a little house and you can rent it from me. A little bit, maybe a little under market rent. Just trying. It's just trying. I know that's a slow intro, but it's just what's on my mind. So I'm back. I wanted to check in. Let's first things first, new all-time high. And remember, this is an adjusted all-time high based on all the dollar bills that I pulled out of the account. Where's my little, there it is. So the last all-time high was at 2306. Today is April 30th, correct? Yeah. 2342. All right. Now that's adjusted based on the $750,000 that I have removed from the portfolio. And I've been trading those futures. First, let me explain why I pulled $750,000 out of Robinhood. One, I've been riding a lot of cash. If you've been following the channel, you know that the market is just got me a little perplexed. So I'm mostly cash, pretty much all cash in my retirement account, aside from a couple little positions. Vanguard brokerage account. I still do have some, Vanguard S&P funds, a couple dividend funds, ETFs, but a lot, mostly cash there as well. I shouldn't say all of the 750,000 I moved over is in cash because I spent some. I spent a bunch of it on silver. Spent like $32,000 in our retirement accounts because I thought I had put the money in for 24. I was wrong. So we each needed to contribute for 24 and then was eligible for 25. So did that. Now we're up to, because of our advanced ages, 8,000 per year max. So I maxed out both. That was 16,000 each. That's 32,000. About $50,000 worth of baseball cards and silver. And then the rest all went into Vanguard, and it's in cash collecting me some interest. The other reason was I did want to get into futures. One, I love to learn new things. Two, it's an option. It's another tool in the tool belt that I can learn to trade around and possibly contribute to the family while I wait for the next long trade. I had a bunch of long trades that went on in options leaps for silver and gold, trading AGQ, trading dust, trading NUG-T, uh, SLV and GLD leap options at silver and gold ETFs. Those all came to roost, put a bunch of dollar bills in the pocket, and now I'm waiting for the next setup. And a lot of things are acting a little strange for me. Difficult to track. News has been outrageous. Tariffs, inflation. Is there a recession? All these things seem volatile, and they have been. If you look at the VIX, you'll see how high it's been running, while simultaneously the fear and greed index is getting better. Less fear, a little more greed. Still on the fear side, but it just has me a little perplexed. But I thought if I can learn another skill set within the trading world, then I can make some little moves here and there just to feel like I'm still a productive human being. Because I've been semi-retired for years. And the first couple of years, I just did whatever. Seriously. I would shoot baskets in the backyard for hours. I'd drive around in one of the Mustangs. I would, rip open a bunch of baseball cards, watch tons of baseball, football. But there comes a time when you need to have a cause, when you want to feel contributing to the family and society. So I thought, let me learn a little bit about trading. And that's what I've been working on for the last 2.25 years. And if you've been following along since the beginning, which I doubt, you have seen that. So I wanted to learn the futures, and then also with Robinhood, they were not allowing me to have my living trust as a beneficiary, as the second beneficiary of the account. So it was, for the amount of money that's in the account, it was defeating the purpose of a living trust, which avoids probate for the family when we keel over, kick the bucket, take a dirt nap. Hopefully that's not for another 50 plus years. So I started to move some of the money over while thinking about where can I trade. And I love the Robinhood app because it's really the only trading app I know. I mean, I've been working with Vanguard for years, but it's not it's a horrible trading platform. So then out of the blue, and I've been nagging Robinhood, and finally they informed me we do now allow for living trusts to be the second beneficiary. So I got that going on. Then simultaneously, they and I didn't even know there was options on Robinhood. That's how clueless I am. And they informed me that, hey, we've automatically approved you for futures trading because we consider you a valuable trader. You're the only one. So I thought, okay, here we go. Let me do a little bit of dabbling. So after this long build up and intro, let's get into some of those futures trades because that's really all I've done for the last week and a half, beginning with a little update from last week. So 421, we started out right out of the gate losing a big bucket of money. We were trading the those are called the E-minis on the S&P 500. So we'll just call them the S&P futures. Okay, got into trouble here. Got stopped out for a big loss. Still thought that trade was good. Got back in, piled in, and ended up with a little bit of profit. The difference in those two are $636. Had a little natty gas future going on, natural gas. Quick stop out, $143. That daily was $779. Following day, got into a little shorted the S&P, $450. I went with the minis on the NASDAQ just to get started, get my feet wet, dip my toe in the water. Made enough money for like a trip to McDonald's these days, and then went long into the night, which is dangerous on the dance floor. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. The mini Bitcoin, again, dipped my toe in the water, lost $236. So the day was 310. Hey, it's still positive. Then we had a nice, beautiful trade. We went through the night, had our stop in place, and then did not get stopped out until, because once I woke up, I was like, hey, look at this. It's like Christmas morning. Started moving the stops up and ended up getting stopped out for a $7,869 profit. Went on a roll there. Went into the S&P again for a profit of 1334. The GLD, I went ahead and sold out my short on GLD for some puts that I bought, $1,050 profit. And back into the S&P, 1350. S&P quick one 144. S&P quick one 471. But a beautiful, incredible day, $12,218. Whew, I was like, what's going on here? Went into the Bitcoin. Now this was the regular. This wasn't the minis. This was Bitcoin futures. Had a quick trade there for a beautiful $7,550. Back into the S&Ps, went short 1,050. Collected there, went short again, 1492. So for the day, then the TMF call, I sold my calls. That position was just like hanging around, making my butt stink. So I'm like, I sent them a ransom letter and they sent me $4,075 in exchange for 120 covered call contracts at $43 because the charts were telling me we got a downturn coming, and that's happened over the last day. Well, today. The ladies keep sending me pictures from Boston, the beautiful dinner they're having. I'm like, that looks delicious and expensive. Oh, boy. So that was $14,167 bills. Unbelievable. And then on Friday, we ended up a little short on the Bitcoin, and then we had a short on the S&P. Did great on the Bitcoin, lost out on the S&P, but the daily was $5,275, which brought the weekly. So our first week of trading futures was $32,749 in the money. We're in the money. We're at the money. So we started this week, little action, but it ended badly. S&Ps went short, made $2,200, went long on Bitcoin, made $4,902. And then, this trade immediately went sour on me. I went short again, and the S&P decided to make a little rip on me. In the middle of the night, it hit my stop, which I thought was a liberal stop, meaning I gave it some room, enough room to choke me out. I submitted, lost $6,300 there, but it still left us with a daily net of $802 bills. Tuesday, we had a beautiful day. Went long the S&P, collected $1,695, went long Bitcoin, collected $2,075, went short Bitcoin, collected $1,284, and then went long the S&P for $892 to wrap up the day's trades at $5,946 to the green side. And then that brings us to today. Today could have been a monster day. But and what I know this, and it applies to essentially everything in life. I learned it by observing in real estate, and now I've learned it observing myself in trading, and that is psychology, mentality, mindset, thoughts, scarcity, abundance. All of these come into play with our own mindsets, our own minds, because that is what biology has wired us to do. So let me give you an example. Let me take a deep breath, because in the morning we had the trade. I was nail biting my way down, catching this falling knife, caught it, was long at 54.79 in the S&P with 6 contracts. That's a lot. But as you're buying on your way down, it becomes a bit gut-wrenching, because I was probably down close to 10,000 at one point. Then when it started to turn, went back up north, because it got it down in the 54.50s. And I was like, my position's full. I'm going to watch this. And then once I get above my break even, I'm going to cross my fingers, put in a stop, and hope it keeps running. Well, It did one of those bing bong bings, little ping pong wizard on me, stopped me out. We were in the green, $564. But then what did it go? I mean, where's it at now? Where is it at now? It's like 56.19. Of course, the market's just opened again, so it could be doing whatever. We'll check in just a moment. So from 54.79, I could have at least caught 56.09. 130 points could have made me enough to buy me a nice sedan. But we got $564. But it's better than a red number, right? So then we went long again at 55.25, 5 contracts. Got stopped out for 26.40 profit. Accidentally went short. Probably the reason I don't trade live. Hit the wrong button. I don't know what, you got to pay attention. That's why I keep putting the little notes here. Sell is short, buy is long. Accidentally went short, and then I'm like, and that was one contract. Then I'm like, all right, I'm going to chase this a bit and then try to cover. So I got into 3 contracts, covered, made $144. Went short again at 55.51. 2 contracts, got stopped out at 55.46, made 500. Went long at 55.36, 3 contracts, got stopped out 55.44, 3 contracts, made 11.45. Went short 56.09, and luckily got stopped out at 56.04 for 782, because you know what it did after that. If you were, and again, this is the S&P 500, had an amazing bounce into the close and into the after hours. So I made 782 there for a daily of 57.75. So let's look at the charts, see what's going on live. We'll do it live right now. Silver spot. Don't have an update on the chart here because I did update the silver futures. This was what I'm looking at on the futures. Currently at 32.85. I have a target of, we got a little more downside going on, but silver has just been meandering. We'll get a bigger view with some trend lines by tomorrow. I'm looking for a down, and when it makes this down, I'll probably be looking at AGQ, which is a 2x silver ETF, and also SLV leaps. We'll get into that in un momento. So that would be between what? Like 32, I think I put 32,250 was the number in my mind, down to 31,665. That's my target. Then with the 5 coming in up here, and this is futures, the futures contracts trades forward, and it's different than spot. And I have a 34.5 to 35 on the target for the 5th wave there. So SLV, here's we go, 2 and then 3. So we get in this box or even close to it. I'll start looking probably south of this number. Let's go ahead and put a number. Let's put a little visual reminder for me to consider along with leaps. Move it down just a touch too much, like right there. So 29.45 and under, looking for this target. I'll be looking to enter some leaps contracts on the SLV, looking for this move. Hello, let's get it. Let's get that move. Don't have gold updated on the futures. Once we took the big downturn here, which is what we were expecting, it just came later than I expected. We still haven't moved off much from all-time highs. Bitcoin, I'm still looking for 5, which would be between and I know it's a big target, but it's Bitcoin, 96 to 98,000. And on the Bitcoin futures, it did everything I asked to do. You saw me put this target on live after the 5. Got the target, and then we got 1, 2, 3 up from there. I'm still looking for it to go north at this point. SPX, this line, danger, danger, danger. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to, you're crazy, Bart. Market only goes up. We are hitting this trend line this year. Mark my words, and then mark it with a B. But you said the other day, once we're going to break out here. And we did, didn't we? Doesn't mean we're not breaking back down, because we are. It's just not happening too soon, because we got some upside, because I did update something. We looked at this, stayed here pretty much, had a little dip, but it was only mostly a candle, very little, or a wick, very little body, had a nice move up, and then we had our breakout. We're holding our breakout now. Don't count that wackiness that went on today. Price action tomorrow should be interesting, and it should be to the north. And I do have this one updated. All right, so this is the S&P futures. This is what I've been trading apparently over and over. Bottom today. That's the thesis with a boom shakalaka. I know it looks like a big target, but this is our golden range from a 1 extension to a 1618. And that would take us between like 56.55 all the way up to 57.80. Yeah, I know, big range, but beauty. Wow. Oh my. Wasn't even paying attention. So from when the futures market closes at 4 p.m. Central Time and then reopens at 5. It was at 56.19 when it closed at 4, and then look what it's doing. It's already chasing that target. Hello. Sorry, the video has not stopped. I'm just thinking out loud. We get a little dip, which we will at some point. We'll get a little dip. I might put on a little test runner, like one contract. I'll be a little liberal with the stop, expecting a move. I wake up and be like, hello, hooray, let the show begin. I feel ready. A little Alice Cooper there for you. Whoa. All right. I got a 1-2 in place, looking for 3, and it's trying to chase the 3 right now. I got the 3, another big target between the 1 and the 1618. So that would this is the futures, NASDAQ futures. So like 20,200 all the way up to 20,800. Coming to a theater near you, TLT. Bro. All right, couple things. One, this is still in play. Still feel compelled to believe that the move is imminent. However, to really get on its horse, here's what we need. This has to go. We got to take that out. Is that how you spell forest? If you know that reference, come on. Who doesn't know that reference? Where are you? And go. There it is. Take out and run, Forrest. She taught me to read. I taught her to dangle. What an amazing movie. We need better movies. So that would correlate to TMF. Yeah, we did get this big green. Absolutely. Moonshotting over here, but now meandering. But that's also why I sold those covered calls to get little. We're still looking at this. Move this bad boy over. Yes, indeed. Still looking for that. That seems weird. This has got to. What am I at here? We were over 43. Why isn't that registering? We were over 43 yesterday. Perplexed. I'll have to take a closer look. Still looking at this box as a target. But as you can see, post-market, we went from 41.60 down to 41.37. That's the move I was expecting down. We got it. That's why I sold the covered calls. Stuffed $4,000 in premium into my skinny jeans as ransom. I sent him a letter. I'm like, look, you got to make a move here. I created it out of magazine. I cut magazine letters out, put the ransom note together. They coughed it up. Should collect all of that $4,000 before. I don't even know. Is it by late next week we catch a move? I don't know. We got to look. I'll relook at those charts. We got what we wanted. We had to get below the green and then the white. We got them both. But then we had check yourself before you wreck yourself right here. And now it's trying to creep again. Creep. Don't do it. We need to now. All right, let's put another line in. You and your lines. It's visual aids for someone like me. Wait a minute. What's a horizontal ray? I don't even know. Let's take this. No, down here. Take this son of a gun out. Let's put a different color on it. All right. Now we know. Boom. Look at that. Bing, bing, bing. Ricochet rabbit. Take this thing out. We're going to be golden. Oil. Not liking it. I measured it up. We didn't get enough for 3 waves. So what are we doing? I don't know. I think we're about to invalidate this whole 1-2 setup. Ooh, could it be a 1-2-1-2? Interesting thought. We'll get back to that because it's still very difficult trading oil right now. I did put this on the other day, so let's move it over. Still applies, in my honest and accurate opinion. We get in that box, then we're looking for a long. Speaking of longs, I missed a huge one, and we talked about it because we hit the target box, and I'm like, and then I missed it here, and I'm like, it gets back in there. I'm taking a long. When you don't pay attention, you don't catch the moves. Look at the move that it has made from this low to that high. Sick. But that's what Natty does. So I'll just be looking first here. I'll be looking there. Oh boy. Just put a little visual aid in there. We get under here, then I'll start to pay attention to Natty again. Otherwise, I don't know what to do because it's a dangerous asset to trade. That's what's going on here. That, my friends, is what's going on here. Like, subscribe, comment, share with a lovable friend. Sorry for all the days I missed. But there's just who's first and foremost? Your wife, your kids, your health. Had a oil change on Coco's new Mazda CX-50 today. Went to the gym. Did something else. Don't know what it was. Now I got some Cubs to watch and have a beautiful evening here at the Fortress of Solitude, the Castle of Love, surrounded by the financial moat that I continue to build. Like, subscribe, comment, share this video and this channel with a lovable friend, and I'll see you. I'm gonna tune in with you tomorrow. See you tomorrow as we go higher in the S&P and NASDAQ and likely Bitcoin. See you in the next video.